Good morning, students. Hope you all are well. So, in our previous class, we have discussed about the biotic components of our ecosystem. Today, we will discuss the abiotic components of the ecosystem. So, we can divide the abiotic components into two parts. One is physical part, and another is climatic part. So, the first one is air. So, air is the most essential abiotic component that supports the life on Earth, and the two main gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, present in air, these are the most vital one. So oxygen requires by plants and animals for what? For their respiration, and while carbon dioxide requires by plant for the process of photosynthesis, so that they can make their own food. Now the moving air is known as wind, and it helps in dispersal or the transferring of pollen grains and seeds of plants, so that it helps in fertilization and germination. Next is water. So water is very essential abiotic components for all living organisms. All our physiological process like the digestion, excretion, circulation, it requires water. Plant needs water to make their food during photosynthesis. Water also requires for seed germination, for the growth of new plant, and aquatic plants and animals, they need water to survive. And human beings also use water for various domestic purposes, for different agricultural purposes, and also for the industrial purposes. Next is soil. So soil is the dwelling place for a large number of small animals like rat, earthworms, etc. So they make burrow in the soil and they stay there. All the terrestrial plants, they are fixed in the soil by their roots, and soil provides the proper water and nutrient, so that they help in the growth and development of plants. Next one is temperature. So temperature is the factor that actually determine the distribution of the plants and animals, means where which kind of plants and animals we can see. Like the pine trees, they are generally grows on mountain in cold areas, but the mango trees grow in warmer places. Like in case of animals also, camels generally live in desert, but the seals, they generally live in the freezing water. Okay. Next, there are two inactive state of animals. One is hibernation and another is estivation. So the hibernation is actually the winter sleep of some animals like polar bear, snake, etc. So they go for a long winter sleep during winter to avoid the extreme cold temperature, and they become inactive during this period. And to avoid very high temperature during the hot summers, some animals like snails and frogs, they go for a long summer sleep, and that is known as estivation. And the blooming of the flowers, that is also dependent on the temperature, because it varies in daytime and nighttime. Next one is humidity. So humidity is the moisture content in the atmosphere, and that generally decrease the rate of transpiration of plants. So what is transpiration? Transpiration is the secretion of excess water of plants through the leaves. So a high level of humidity create the favorable environment for fungus and bacteria to grow. So it enables the decomposition process to happen, and a higher level of water vapor in the air is important to produce cloud, and it helps in rainfall. So plants need the varying amount of rainfall to survive. And the next one, and the most important one, that is sunlight. So plant needs sunlight for the process of photosynthesis to make their own food, and flowering and the fruiting cycles of plant, that is also dependent on the sunlight, means whether the days are long or short. and the most animals are generally active during daytime, and at night time they're less active, and the length of the day, that is also influence their reproductive cycle, means the reproductive cycles of some animals and birds.